All right, we're live.
It's the end of February.
It is, yeah.
It's the Ides of February.
And it's a leap year this year, too.
That's right. We got 2 more days of February.
Yeah,
What are you gonna do
crazy.
with your free day?
I don't know. I guess just relax, Just knowing
Sure.
that February was a good month, I guess. I
It is a
I
Saturday.
yeah, I don't know, this February went by faster than usual and February is a fast month generally, so I don't know.
February, it's the last couple days of like free time because March games start coming out hard.
On the 3rd, first one, Murder by Numbers.
Yeah, and then Division 2's DLC, which
Oh
I've
no, wait.
decided I'm gonna
You're
pick
right.
up.
That's the 3rd. Division by or Murder by
Murder
Numbers
by
is the
Numbers is like the
5th.
sixth or something.
Yeah,
Something like
it's
that.
a couple days after. That's right. You are gonna
Yeah.
pick it up. Okay.
Yeah. Which I played those like intro missions, which we can talk about later. But after playing those, I was like, yeah, I want to play more of this.
Sure.
I want to play more of this. And then at PAX, I don't. Oh, we don't have that in news, but the more Borderlands DLC comes out at the end of March, which will be just great because I'm sure I'll be done with Final Fantasy VII and have just lots of free time.
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
It's getting busy. It's getting real busy.
It's getting there. Yep.
But how's your last week been?
It's been okay. I keep putting off watching that High Fidelity show that came out. Like it came out actually on Valentine's Day, and I keep putting it off for some reason, but people say it's good.
I have
So,
no idea what you're talking about.
did you ever see the movie High Fidelity?
No.
Oh, okay. There's a TV show based on like the book,
Okay.
which and the movie. I get it's the
Okay.
same thing.
Is this like a
Uh,
Netflix show?
uh, HBO? No, not HBO. One of these other hard to get things. I had to download it. I couldn't get it legally in Canada, so yeah.
I'm gonna look it up words here because I'm sure
Oh,
I have access to
it's
it.
Hulu. It's Hulu only.
Do you guys don't have Hulu?
We don't have Hulu. No.
Oh, weird. Okay.
No.
Oh yeah.
We have some
Fidelity.
Hulu programming on like other things. Crave is
Right.
our thing up here, but this wasn't on Crave. So
Okay. Sure. Sure. I've been watching on Netflix Lock and Key, based on the comic book series.
yeah, I heard the first episode was pretty good. Like my girlfriend watched the first episode. Should I jump in on this or like is it pretty good?
I don't know if it's like a full-on recommend. It's like good enough that I'm going through it. I don't think like any of the actors are particularly strong, and especially like the main kids, like that main dude Tyler. I don't like that actor. I don't think he's good at all.
Uh,
Um, so I don't think any of the performances are that standout. But it, the concept is intriguing enough that I'm going along with it,
sure.
and I'm enjoying that aspect of it for sure.
Have you heard of the miniseries The Outsider?
That sounds familiar.
Stephen King. Um,
Now it sounds less familiar.
it's a miniseries based on the novel by Stephen King. It came out in January apparently or whatever, but is it fully out? No, it doesn't look like it is fully out. I just looked it up here. Apparently that's very good, people say. So that might be something
Okay.
worth looking into. That's HBO though.
Well, right. I have access to HBO as well, so that's not a problem. Oh yeah, Westworld season 3 is next month.
Oh, really?
Gotta get ready for that.
Oh, and
Um,
Castlevania season 3 is next month as well, actually.
that's true. Yeah, I already actually have like my next show lined up. Although Castlevania might just like bump its way in there,
Yeah.
um, which I don't know if this is any good at all. But someone recommended the show. I think it's called Glitch Tex to me on Netflix. It's a cartoon.
Okay.
It's like very like video game based and whatnot.
Okay.
Um, the trailer seemed intriguing, so I want to check that out. Again, I don't know if it's any good.
So what's it called? Glitch something?
I think it's called Glitch Tex, as in like two words, Techs.
Oh.
Tex. Yep, that's the name of it. It's
Okay.
a Netflix show.
Okay.
That's like the next thing I plan to watch after Lock and Key, which I'm just about done with.
Okay. Cool. It looks cute from like the screenshot I got here, basically.
Yeah, it's like an all ages cartoon as opposed to a lot of the like more trendy adult cartoons on right now.
Oh yeah, and it
But yeah,
premiered just
hopefully it's
6
good.
days ago on
Yeah, it's a new thing.
21st.
That's when it kind of popped up as someone was like, "Hey, this thing's pretty good."
Cool. Yeah, I'll probably look into this as well. That looks good.
John's not here, in case you were wondering why he's quiet, despite him just kind of generally being quiet.
Right.
He's at PAX East, which starts today,
I think.
Today. It did start today. Yes, I remember seeing like it's 20% over already, blah, blah, blah. And I saw on because I follow the PAX account on Twitter, they, for their merch, they have the Letterman jackets again, though it's in a red. And obviously it says Boston instead of San Antonio.
Yeah.
So I was asking my girlfriend, I was like, I wonder if like the colors have anything to do with the location, because like, you know, Texas, you know, University of Austin is it's a huge school and it's orange. That kind of makes sense. Texas orange is kind of a thing. And I was like, are there any like big schools in around Boston that are red? And she was like, yeah, they got Baylor and Harvard.
Yeah.
Their colors both red. And I was like, so maybe they are trying to like lean into the school. So I was thinking, what is Seattle? And I know I'm asking someone who has no idea what color the schools in Seattle are.
I think they're gray and blue.
See, my girlfriend said green. I didn't look this up though, but I would side with the American over you. No offense.
Yeah. It might be green. Yeah, I have no idea.
Which I could see green. I could see them doing the jacket in green.
Yeah.
But I could also see them doing blue for somewhere as well. And so I was like, but then, okay, so what's the school in Australia?
Yeah.
Because
yellow, orange.
Well, that's like obviously a silly thing, because I'm instead of state, I'm doing the whole country. So who knows what that would be? But
it's basically.
My guess is if they do it for PAX West, it's green or blue. That just makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, I could see it.
I like my orange one though. I think my orange one looks nice, but but people are probably going to want to pick those up because I understand it's cold in Boston right now.
Oh, is it? Of course it is. Why not, right? Anytime there's an event, there's a problem.
And it's earlier than normal, right? So
that's true. Yeah, that's so weird that it's still in February even.
Right.
Wow.
But let's do the show.
Yeah.
It's February 27th. This is the Top Down Perspective, and I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
And Paul, what have you been playing?
I just been playing The Division 2, getting ready, like just wrapping stuff up. Been like talking more with the people in our like clan or whatever that I'm in, and just kind of being like, I don't know, hooking up and doing some group stuff with them and chatting with them and like talking about Warlords and how that's going to be exciting and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's just been kind of, I don't know, crossing T's and dotting I's, getting exotic weapons before I'm sure they're useless again with the expansion, but whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't have a whole lot more to say about it. It's just been the grind, and it's been the nice kind of background thing that like I have on my main monitor while watching stuff on YouTube or Twitch streams or whatever, podcast game. But I see you've been playing it as well.
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, I played the 2 intro missions, which I gotta say, each one had their own achievement for completing it, which was just nice to see. Because my buddy and I have been playing a lot of like DLC add-on stuff, and a lot of the time developers don't put achievements for those.
True.
Which is just kind of a bummer. But this was a nice surprise. Each one had its own. I thought they were both really fun missions. They definitely go pretty crazy with like the lighting, a lot of cool colored lights. And I think it was the second mission. You go through a haunted house ride, which that was cool too. And it made me think I would love it if there was a game that had a level, even if it was a small section, kind of John Wick 2 style of like a shootout in like a hall of mirrors.
Okay.
Although I'm sure to make that actually work, it would destroy whatever console or PC you're playing because of all the like polygons it has to render an infinite number of times.
Probably, yeah.
Which is probably exactly why they don't do that.
Probably.
Considering like most games, one mirror working is a big to do.
Yeah.
And then a hall of mirrors, while each of them are damageable and that would crack and then make, but how cool would that be?
It'd be
That'd be
very,
so
very
cool.
cool.
That'd be cool. That seems like that almost seems like a Batman Scarecrow level.
Totally. Yep. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked the third piece here, the third chapter or whatever, the Coney Island stuff. Because like you said, it's so different. Yeah. I don't know.
Are you like, so when the DLC is back to New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you like excited to go back?
Yeah, I'm excited to see how they tie in with like the other characters and see if they make any mention of like maybe my agent or whatever. Like maybe they talk about this like agent that like turned or whatever
Murdered
with Keener.
One in the city for good.
Yeah, or like let Keener get away and all that sort of
See,
thing.
the fact that you just name dropped someone is probably like
he's a main
8
villain.
miles ahead of anything story related I could tell you division wise.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
So when I was asked, hey, are you excited to go back to New York? I was like, no, what? I don't even remember New York, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it was just a big cityscape, and like it's gonna,
and like so is DC. I mean, side by side, they're obviously going to be different.
Sure,
but like
they're similar enough, though.
That whole game is just like a blur.
Sure,
both of them story wise, it's all just a blur to me. It's more just like moments kind of stick out to me, like specific boss battles I can remember. Like I think it was the first one. There was like the flamethrower boss in like a construction tower. That was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. That's the one I remember too. Actually,
I think I remember that one specifically because I died like 5 times in a row on it.
There's one in the stadium. I can't remember what the big stadium is in New York, but I remember that the stadium one was pretty fun.
I'm not the person to ask about New York sports either.
Yeah, that's fair.
The New York Yankees, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Is it Yankee Stadium?
No, it's something else. I don't know. If I looked it up, I'm sure I could find it. Then there was like Times Square was kind of neat. There was some okay stuff in there. Weirdly enough, I think there's more like cool landmark things you could do in New York, but DC they just did those set pieces better for like what they have.
I think Division 2 is just a better game.
Yeah, it's all around just and they like kept up support for it, so there was like always a reason to go back every couple months to like do some new stuff.
And I know like my TV got bigger and better, so the game looked better when I was playing Division 2. I can say that much.
Fair enough.
And that, that goes a long way as far as I'm concerned.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. Did you try out any of the new specializations at all? Specifically Firewall is the newest one, the flamethrower or anything?
I didn't. No, I stuck with my exploding crossbow.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I used it in those 2 missions.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't. One thing that's kind of weird is the first time you play through the missions, they force you to play on story difficulty.
Yeah.
Which if you're like level 500, which I am, it's just like you can just run and gun.
Yeah.
Which is silly because Division 2 is not a game you should be able to run and gun in. Like it is brutal in some cases.
Story difficulty is boring.
Yeah, so it was like, why would I take time to slowly line up this crossbow when I can just run around with this LMG?
Yep. Totally.
Have my aerial drone take out anyone while I'm reloading. Like, it's totally fine.
Have you done they released a while back the Expedition Kenley College that only opens up every now and then. Did you do that up yet? Because that's open again this week. if
No,
you
we
did.
didn't. I remember we looked into it when it first came out. We got kind of confused about what we were supposed to do,
Okay.
and then just never went back.
So think of it like a little area where there's 3 different, like, we'll say strongholds, and in each one of those there's like 3 or 4 different like little tasks you do to like beat it essentially. So
And do you have to do it all in one go?
no, you can, but you have to do them first on story mode to like unlock real versions of it.
Right,
Unfortunately,
but if I like turn the game off after doing half of it, will I have to like replay that like a
you'll
mission?
so like there's like the student union, there's like the train station, and there's something else, I think like the library or something. You, if like say you start the student union, you do have to do all of that student union, but then you can
But
like
it'll checkpoint in between
yes,
the 3.
it'll
Okay.
just say
That's
that
good to
you've
know.
done it. Yeah. And then if you do all 3 of them at the end, you have a chance for the exotic weapon. I can't remember which one. The marksman rifle with the snake on it or whatever. I don't remember the
Sure.
name of it.
Yeah,
I don't
I don't
use
I
it,
don't know.
but I
Yeah,
got it. So
the I I could care so little less about how my stuff looks in the Division. Um
mhm.
like there's like Overwatch, I want my character looking fly as hell. Then there's like below that, it's like, all right, I guess I want Apex, my guy, to look kind of all right. And then
Okay.
there's Division at the bottom, which is like, this guy's wearing like a miner's hat. I don't care. And 2 pairs of sunglasses.
But you want to do the damage though, is the thing. Like you want to make a
And yeah,
build so
no,
that you can
if the
actually kill
number's
shit.
green, it's like I'll equip it, sure,
Yeah, yeah,
for sure.
gotcha. Mhm.
But like I barely even put like the weapon skins on.
What? Oh, yeah. I mean, you barely see them. So,
Exactly,
that's
that's the thing. You
fair.
barely see them, and also it like my character's so covered up in like shit. It's like
Yeah.
I don't care. Like there's like, what kind of shirt do you want? I don't know. It's underneath a bulletproof vest. I can't even see the shirt.
Yeah.
How is this useful?
Yeah.
My character has like 800 knee pads on. I don't care what kind of pants they're wearing.
It would be kind of cool if they made it so that you could like not show that stuff or whatever. So,
Right,
like,
kind of like the Mass Effect turn the helmet off.
yeah, cuz they have a lot of like apparel that you can get by unlocking those caches or like paying real money if you are that person. And like again, like you said, your holster, your fucking backpack and your bulletproof vest make it so you don't see shit.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I beat Morta, Children of Morta, just before we started recording.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Okay.
that final boss is easy, but it's kind of a cool mechanic
Hmm.
that gets implemented in there. That game is just fantastic, start to finish.
Yeah.
I will, however, again say I don't care for how the areas look.
Hmm.
In fact, like notably, I'm a person who is typically like, I'm tired of playing like gray or brown kind of ugly destroyed dystopias.
Hmm.
All 3 of the worlds in Morta are, it starts off in
They're
dark gray caves, then you
Yeah.
go to sandy destroyed city, then you go to darker cave area, and those
Yeah.
are your 3 worlds. And it's like, okay, well, so um not the greatest looking game, but just so much fun to play. Holy shit, that game is so much fun.
It's very, very
uh
good. I do wish
yeah,
you played more in the beginning area, in the forest and stuff. Like, you know, the
right, well, you
tutorial
actually go
area?
back there at one point.
Like,
I
I
don't know
wish
how
that
much
was
you
a whole
played.
biome, though.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
that would
I
have been
wish there was a
nice.
biome that was like bright blue. Just something
Like,
colorful. Just
oceany
give
or
me
something?
something. Just give me some bright colors.
Yeah.
That aren't just like sand. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to wait for Ori, which, by the way, we forgot to mention Ori comes out pretty soon here as well.
Yeah.
And I think because a bunch of gameplay, it just like an embargo dropped for that, so a bunch of stuff came out. That
Yeah.
game is apparently like 2 or 3 times as long as the first one.
Thank
Like
God. Good.
there's side quests.
That first
Holy
game was too
crap,
short. I wanted more. So I'm happy.
that game was so, like, oh my God, I'm on this game. So it sounds so good. It sounds
And
so good.
I don't have it on any of my stuff like to look forward to because it's on Game Pass. Like, I have a calendar of like when stuff is coming out so I can kind of appropriately budget stuff, but it's like Oh yeah, Ori's coming out. That's free for me, so I'm just going to play it.
But you
Obviously.
know what? It's just gonna like everything's gonna halt, and it's gonna be like now it is Ori time. It's
Yeah,
Ori time right now.
I think it's like Division gets like 2 days with that expansion. Then Murder by Numbers gets 2 days, and then Ori comes out, and that gets like until Doom, basically for me. So
All right, Doom and Animal Crossing. Yeah,
yeah,
jeez, man.
it's crazy.
Um, I'm also playing through Chuchel. I'm
Okay,
just about done that game. Chuchel is from Amanita Design, who you'll know as the developers of Machinarium, Sam Rost. Those games. I talked about their most recent one, Pilgrims, which was an Apple Arcade game.
right,
Chuchel was
Pilgrims.
their game just before Pilgrims. They do quirky and fun and really kind of nicely stylistic point and click adventure games. This is no different. You play as an orange little fuzzball trying to get a cherry, basically.
Okay,
And the way the game is broken up is it's just like there's like I think 20, 30 vignettes. You're basically just kind of playing through a scene. It's a lot less puzzly than some of their other games have been. Like Machinarium is a like real typical point and click adventure game. You are combining items to do stuff. This one is more just like tap around the screen until you've hit the right kind of combination and watch the scene play out. So super easy. There's also plenty of hints if you need that.
hmm
But in every scenario, the cherry is obstructed in some way, and your guy, you just tap on like the weird creature that may be holding your cherry, and you'll try and interact with it. Maybe you have to interact with the sign, and you just kind of basically poke and prod and see what happens. Eventually you'll get close enough to the cherry, and then last second the cherry will get yanked away by something else, and then you go on to the next scene. Super cute game, just extremely charming. The audio is super fun. The character designs are pretty much what you'd expect from like a Sam Ross thing of just weird, goopy creatures that like to scream and holler, and there's like a Wallace and Gromit level of just how you would enjoy the way these things look and the characteristics of these weird little creatures. Um, so yeah, Chucho's a good thing. I'm just about done with that.
yeah, it's cool
Um,
looking.
yep. Amanita Design can do like no wrong as far as I'm concerned. I love their little games.
Yeah,
So that's
I
good.
loved Machinarium. That's such a good game.
Machinarium will kind of always hold a special place in my heart for sure. It is
Yeah.
just like gorgeous and cute and fun. That is a very cool game.
Yep.
Um, on a more of a bummer note, I'm playing the new Crossy Road game that came
Okay.
out like this afternoon randomly.
Okay.
Um, I'm a big fan of original Crossy Road.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure I put that on my top 10. That was such a just good, clean game. Um, this isn't Crossy Road in anything but name. So this is Crossy Road Castle, which had been announced. We mentioned it on the show months ago.
Yeah.
This is a platformer with that there is co-op elements if you want, but you can play it single player. I played about 20 minutes of it. I think it's just kind of like a mediocre platformer.
Okay.
You can play it with a controller if you have that synced. This is Apple Arcade. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can play with a controller if you want. I didn't have a controller with me at the time, so it's touch controls with like the inputs on the screen, which is already just kind of a bad look
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
From what I gathered, it's kind of run based, but like it's easy. So the runs are just like too long.
Okay.
There's different worlds, although right now there's only one world, and the world is called like Unicorn Tower or something like that. So when you start, you basically have like 3 hits you can take, and you just kind of need to platform your way through the level, and the world will just the tower will just like rotate 90 degrees, and so you're kind of looking at it from the outside, and then you do
Mm-hmm.
the next level, and it just kind of keeps rotating. And then every like 10 levels or so, if you've collected 100 coins, which is pretty easy to do, you can buy back a hit. So you have like three lives, 3 hits.
Okay.
I don't know. I kept wondering, like, can I like quit to try again. There's no way to restart a level, which there are like secrets in the levels, like there's secret exits you can kind of get, which will lead to more ways of getting their like secondary currency, which I still barely even know what to do with the secondary currency. But there's no way you can like restart a stage if you missed the one opportunity, because sometimes you'll have to like jump on an enemy to get to this one platform, but when you jump on that enemy, the enemy's gone. If you think of like a Goomba in Mario. So if you miss that jump, it's like, well, you just can't get to the secret door, move on. And it doesn't really matter because it's not exactly like, did you like fully complete this stage? Because it's all just procedurally generated as a run. So it doesn't really matter if you miss it. There's no checklist you're kind of getting off. Yeah, I don't know. I got to like 30 in my run, hadn't been hit once, and I was like, hey, what happens if I quit and then go back in it? And it just starts you at level 1 again, but it's procedurally generated, so it's a different level 1. So I guess you just keep going until I don't know. There's like the first Crossy Road had these vending machines where you could put coins in and get new hats and new characters and just little unlockables that way. I think there's something in there for like 1,000 coins, which is kind of a lot. The most I got at one point was like 300 something. So I don't know if getting 1,000 coins is going to unlock something fun in the game, but right now I think it's just kind of a mediocre platformer. Maybe they really want you to play co-op and have it be a little more crazy.
Probably.
But I don't know. Like, I don't think the co-op would add too much other than now the game's really hectic, and hopefully inside of that chaos is the fun, kind of like a new like a Super Mario Bros. U, and Super Mario Bros. Wii, where it was like, technically this makes it harder because you're bouncing off of each other, but that's the fun, and it's like, well, if I'm actually trying to beat these stages, I'm gonna play by myself.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems kind of bad, and I don't get why it's called Crossy Road. Besides the fact that everything looks like those volumetric pixels, and the chicken's there, the first character.
Money.
I wish they just made a
recognition
too.
Yeah.
It
sounds like they should have just done that.
Well, this is just they just kind of put the name on it, which is a bummer.
Like, it sounds like they should have just made the same thing, but like a little bit better, because that's kind of what I'm sure people want.
Right. Well, and it's weird because like clearly this is what the studio is, same studio, so they wanted to keep it going, but it's like, who even remembers the name Crossy Road? Like, how much brand recognition is that bringing to anyone? True. And if anyone who's like, oh man, I really liked Crossy Road, yeah, I'll check this out. Oh, this is not Crossy Road.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Weird, man.
Yeah, I don't know. To be fair, if it wasn't called Crossy Road Castle, I probably would not have played it.
Sure.
But
so I guess it kind of worked.
This way they got 20 minutes out of me. Maybe I'll try some more just to see if anything happens, but that's the other thing is like play co-op. It's like I don't know anyone else who's subscribed to Apple Arcade. I don't think it has matchmaking. Yeah, I don't even know how I would play multiplayer now that I think about it. What are we, am I going to sync multiple controllers to my phone, and we're all going to huddle around my tiny phone screen?
Yes. I don't know.
I'm gonna try I'm gonna try and see what happens when I hit that second player and see if it maybe brings up a matchmaking thing. Because to be fair, I didn't try that. Player 2, Wi-Fi game. Join players on the same Wi-Fi. All right. So if any of my friends want to come over who are subscribed to Apple Arcade, which is no one, we can maybe get a multiplayer game going.
Anybody listening right now, even if this isn't live for you, like this is like weeks later, just join Sean's game. Just do it.
Well, it's local. They have to be on my Wi-Fi connection, and I'm not telling you my password.
Okay.
All right, let's do some news.
Yeah, there's a bunch for sure.
Yeah, I guess let's start with everyone's favorite recurring segment, the Coronavirus Minute. Play the cue music.
Coronavirus
Minute.
Coronavirus.
I actually did forget that it starts with the coughing. That's right. Real quick, I'll put this one on the top because it's basically already happening. PAX East, that game company, dropped out a few days ago.
Yeah.
Developers of Journey, and most recently Sky,
Right. Yep.
which I'm pretty sure all they were showing was Sky again. So I don't know if anyone's that bummed out because Sky came out last year, guys. Anyway,
Yeah.
more currently is GDC is coming up next week.
Yep.
Not next week, sorry, next month.
Mm-hmm.
And like everyone's pulling out of that. So let's just kind of go down the list. We got Kojima Productions pulled out.
Yep.
EA is limiting presence, advising people not to go.
Yep.
Epic pulled out.
Yep.
Let's see, we have a collection of others.
Yeah.
Microsoft pulled out. That's right. Microsoft Game Stack, which I'm not exactly sure what Microsoft Game Stack is.
Okay.
We already knew Sony, Facebook, and Oculus pulled out. Unity pulled out. I have here, 10 Chinese firms. I'm not sure if that's one entity or 10 entities.
Probably 10 random ones, maybe. Let me look it up.
Well, I looked up 10 Chinese firms and no name comes up, so I guess it is just 10 random stuff.
Yeah.
PUBG dropped out. I didn't know about that either.
Yeah.
So like who's even gonna be there? I saw Iron Galaxy dropped out.
Okay.
And I even saw them being like, hey, GDC, can you have like a better refund policy for people avoiding your convention due to like safety concerns? So I'm sure people are taking a hit on this.
Oh, totally. That sucks.
It's definitely brought into question whether or not I want to go.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. I'm curious to see what John says when he comes back about like if he's more or less scared now.
Well,
like
if he comes back, if he survives, I would assume he's less scared.
I guess so because
in the past.
Fine.
I would be curious though if it comes up in any way. Like I want to ask him like, were people talking about coronavirus? Were people like worried in any way? Was there any kind of like reminder of coronavirus while you were there?
Did people actually shower because maybe they're worried now?
Well, it's a game convention, so no.
Of course they didn't. Yeah,
of course they didn't.
Was there Purell everywhere? Because I'm sure there was.
I mean, you should be bringing your own Purell. Like that's just common knowledge. Every time you play a game, once you're done, you put some hand sanitizer on. That's what I did when I went to PAX South. I even said to my girlfriend, like, look, every time we're done touching these controllers, we're hand sanitizing immediately.
Yep.
Because these people don't shower.
True. Yeah. Maybe more importantly, though, the Sonic movie was delayed releasing in China. So, yeah.
Right. Because of coronavirus. Don't want people going out to the theaters to see that.
Coronavirus is holding the fun hostage from China.
Yeah.
So
for sure, man.
They slowing Sonic down. Also, this one I found funny. You know that game Plague Inc?
Right, yeah. And I remember a few weeks ago, this was also in the news because their downloads like spiked, their sales went up. And and apparently the developer came out and said, like, yeah, this happens anytime there's some kind of like health concern, people buy our game. And they even had to put in a notification in the game of like, look, this is not based on like hard science. This is just kind of like a fun depiction of it.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. So apparently, according to Endemic Creations, who makes the game, they were given a statement that says by the Cyberspace Administration of China that the game includes content that is illegal in China. There was no specifics on what that content was. So China just doesn't want this like scare game.
Right. Yeah. So the headline here is that the game was pulled from Chinese app stores.
Yeah, specifically Chinese app stores. That's right.
Right. And then looking into it more is they didn't really say why, but yeah, something illegal. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
What? I will never get the answer of why.
No.
The Chinese government's not going to come out and be like, we goofed or anything like that. But like, all I can think is like, maybe did they think they were like being made fun of in some way? Of like, why are you making a game about our current issue. That's all I can think of. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Weird.
Definitely weird for sure. And that'll do it for your coronavirus minute. Let's talk about some better news.
Yeah.
Specifically, all the stuff that came out from Xbox this week. Phil Spencer went online and basically wrote a big old article detailing a lot of the hardware and some new features coming to the system. Some stuff we did know, but also answering some questions that we definitely did have. Did you follow any of this stuff?
I tried to, but every single place that reported stuff differently. So I was just like, whatever. Like,
sure. So, I mean, I think the main thing is going through these bullet points that were kind of on the image circulating around. First off, 12 teraflops.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of flops.
Yeah.
Variable rate shading, which is relating to the next one, hardware accelerated DirectX ray tracing. So there will be ray tracing in the system,
right?
Which is I'm excited to hear about as someone who does not plan to purchase a 20 level graphics card anytime soon.
Right.
Quick resume for multiple games that had been announced before, but if you don't remember what that is, the Xbox and the PlayStation have a feature where they will kind of stop a game kind of right where it is when you turn it off, and then you can resume from that.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work very well for whatever reason. Like I know with like a lot of games that are always online, the minute the server connection gets broken, sure, they'll pause your game, but then when you turn it back on, they're like, oh, but the server connection's busted, so we're restarting your game for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm curious to see if that part gets fixed. But quick resume for multiple games, that's cool. I don't know how many people play that many games at once, but why not? I'll take it.
Sure.
But the big news is smart delivery by far. And this was kind of one of the questions I alluded to earlier that has been answered. Smart delivery is basically Xbox is saying for all of their games, all of like first party Xbox games, because they can't force other companies to do this. We'll get into that a bit later. But for all of Xbox's games,
yeah,
you buy it once, it works on the Xbox One, it works on the Xbox Series X, it works on any other Xbox that comes out going forward.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna get another bullet point on our list done here. Project CD Red is agreeing to this as well, and they are allowing Cyberpunk as one of these to follow with this smart delivery as well. So
right, I think this is extremely consumer friendly and
in a way
awesome
that console companies haven't been in a long time. It's very good.
I mean, this is what happens on PC, right? You buy it, it's going to work on any PC going forward until they no longer support
until
that
it doesn't run.
Or whatever.
Yeah, it just won't run.
This works pretty much how it does on phones, although until they stop supporting the new firmware updates.
Yeah, right.
And this kind of goes hand in hand with the whole presumption that it seems like Xbox is going to start doing a lot more half-step consoles, like maybe a new Xbox every couple of years. This just kind of makes sense, and then you'll just look at the game and be like, which one of the Xboxes does it run on? Are the developers still supporting this going forward?
Right.
This is great, and it's interesting because I think it puts Sony in a weird spot. Like, when they respond, they kind of have to match this, right?
Yeah. So apparently something leaked where, like, they're not matching this, but like, their big thing is going to be they are going to be fully backwards compatible. And that's great, but it's like, but what about when you release a new thing? Like now, like, because Xbox now answered that question, so I don't think Sony
they're going to be backwards compatible with everything.
I don't think Sony has an answer.
Well, that's the thing is, I bet this this definitely puts some pressure on Sony because, like, why wouldn't it just seems like Xbox is becoming a much better deal at this point. with this smart delivery thing. And going back to the CD Projekt Red jumping on, that's great to see. Microsoft can't force every publisher to do this. So for all we know, Ubisoft might be like, we would rather sell them 2 copies of the game. So no thanks. But like at this point, I think the market is going to kind of force everyone's hand because consumers and people are going to be like, oh, come on, don't be an evil company. You got to do smart delivery like CD Projekt Red. They're the best company. And I bet there are PR people looking like, yo, the only way for us to like save face is to like match this plan. And then I bet a ton of them are going to have to do it because any company that doesn't do it, if this becomes any kind of trend, is just going to seem like the bad guy. They're going to seem money hungry. It's like, oh man, EA's making us buy it twice. Well, guess what? Ubisoft doesn't. Ubisoft's way better, right? Like it's just going to look bad for you, which makes me think like Sony's going to have the exact same thing happen to them if they don't like match this deal.
Yeah. I really need, like, Sony needs to step up in a big way for sure. It's an interesting time actually. There's a lot of good competition going on both console and PC wise of companies like kind of shooting their shots at each other with different things they're offering consumers. So it's actually kind of
now's the time to do it, right? Right now, like they have this year to sell you on which console to pick up. Most people are not going to buy both. And if they are going to buy both, most people aren't going to get the second one until it's like
cheap
6 years from now when it's way cheap, right? Like most people buy one of the consoles and then they're like, I'm good. I am good for this generation. So it's this year where they need to come out and be like, here's why you should invest in our ecosystem. And I think Xbox knows they have to win people back.
As Homer puts it, this is kind of where it's weird for me. Because, like, I'm going to buy a PlayStation. The reason being, I'm not going to buy Microsoft stuff because they're supporting me as a PC gamer so good. I don't need to. Like, that's crazy.
Right, but I think they're trying to... They just have a multi-stage approach, basically.
Yeah, and Sony doesn't.
There's all those rumors about putting Game Pass on the Switch. And it's like, hey, we at some point, Microsoft is saying, we don't care where you play our games, but if you play but we would just love it if you played our games.
Yeah.
So I think what they're trying to do is just have their cake and eat it too. It's like, well, we would love to win you on the console one, but if we're not gonna, maybe we can still try and win you despite you being on a Switch, on a PC, whatever else it might be. Which seems smart for sure.
For sure. Yep.
But yeah, that's super cool. So the thing with CD Projekt Red is Cyberpunk comes out in September. So, like I'll pick that up for my Xbox One, of course. And if I haven't finished it by November, then I'm going to be playing this really nice looking and running version to finish it up.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yep.
That is so cool.
They've been kicking ass, honestly. I mean, whatever. They run GOG games, right? I'm going to skip ahead for a second here. They run Good Old Games or GOG.com, and they just came out with a new, like, change to their refund window where they don't care how much of the game you played. As long as it's within 30 days, if you don't like it, just, like, fucking get a refund for it. But they also say, don't be that guy, though. Like, this is a trust thing we're doing, so...
Right. Yep. Yeah. This is pretty good. To put it in comparison, do you know Steam's refund policy offhand?
2 hours.
2 hours.
And it's firm. Yeah, it's firm. Right. Unless there's something really wrong with it and you are able to, like, get somebody at support, which, spoiler alert, you don't. It's automated. So, yeah.
30 days is pretty insane. I can't think of that many games that I've played for longer than like 30 days for the most part, unless it's like a live game that I come back to. But if we think of just like story games, within the first month, I'm usually done that game.
Sure.
That's pretty crazy. And it's interesting that they're doing it with the honor system. I guess we'll see how this pans out for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're basically being like, the quote is, please don't take advantage of our trust by asking for an unreasonable amount of games to be refunded. Don't be that person. No one likes that person.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's going to be people doing that.
Totally. Yeah.
But hopefully enough people don't do it that they come out looking good.
That we can have nice things. Yeah. So yeah, basically CD Projekt Red, as I really hope, holy shit, I really hope I don't hear some horror stories about Cyberpunk and them like being like drug around in the dirt like slaves or something. Like I really hope they're treating their developers as good as they're treating their consumers, because holy shit, they are doing very, very good.
Well, from what I understand, I'm sure they're crunching a ton. Like
Sure.
CD Projekt Red is like known for crunching, just like Rockstar. Although I understand Rockstar has gotten a lot better since kind of all those accusations came out last year, or I guess 2 years now with
2
Red Dead.
years. Yeah. Yeah. Weird.
All right, continuing on. Some more GeForce Now news. Bethesda pulled all their games except Youngblood. I did not know this.
Youngblood is the only game you can play on there now. So that's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
It's so weird that so many companies are doing this. And by say I say so many, I say it's just Blizzard and Bethesda that I've heard.
Oh, Capcom did as well earlier. So here's the thing: is that like the ones you didn't hear about is because they pulled out during the beta, before or the alpha, the closed alpha or whatever, before this one that we're talking about now that people can just buy into.
What I don't understand is why they would pull out. Like, we still have to purchase the games through the normal way. Like, if you pay it through Steam, they're still getting their typical cut. What do they care if I'm streaming it to a different place?
Because they don't like the idea that somebody could be making money off of their game and it's not them, even if it's only $5 a month, maybe. They're just greedy. That's why.
I guess. Like, honestly, like GeForce Now has made me want to buy more of my games on PC because now it's just more accessible to me, right? Like, I can only play my Xbox at home, but I can play GeForce Now at work on my computer there if I wanted, blah, 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 or whatever.
Your phone, like literally anywhere. Where there's
not
internet.
my phone, but, if you have an Android phone.
Well, it'll be out on iOS eventually, I'm sure. So
eventually, yep, hopefully.
Oh, I got into the Xbox thing. The oh my god, what the hell is that called now?
xCloud,
yeah. I got into it like weeks ago, and I forgot to talk about it. It's fine. It's the exact same idea, honestly.
But I'm pretty, because it's a beta right now, right? So they just have games put in there.
Yeah,
for you to play, right?
Yeah.
I understand, at least because I know the difference. iOS only has Master Chief Collection. You have a ton of stuff in there.
Yeah, but I mean, so here's the thing: is that like I can test it out, and which I'm going to at some point. But like they're all games that I've played or own, so it's like I don't have a feeling that I want to play them right now, except for the fact that I could. Is the only
but I mean, it's also something just kind of going forward. Is like, oh, now I got this on the go.
Yep.
So maybe I do want the Game Pass version of it or whatever. That's the other big thing is.
Yeah.
If once Game Pass gets added with everything there, like that's
different
awesome.
story. Yeah, that's a
instant buy. They did come out. They say if you're a Game Pass subscriber, you get xCloud. Like it's just there. We're not going to charge more for it. So
that's cool. They're doing so well by the Xbox brand. Like it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's when I think of like people with their PlayStations at this point, I feel like they're just sticking with PlayStation and then their head's in the sand. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm sticking with PlayStation because I'm not going to get those exclusives anywhere else. Whereas Microsoft is giving me that stuff on other platforms. So,
I guess I'm thinking more of like if they're just a console gamer. And they're like, which console should I get? And it's like, well, I'm going to stick with my PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because that's just what I've always done. And it's like, well, PlayStation's not like, they're not doing a lot for you, dude.
Oh, they added way more games to this, actually. There's a stupid amount of games I can play on here already.
You just need the free time. Good thing no games are coming out soon.
Yeah, I do have free time. I'll find one that I want to play and then report back how it works. Okay. So this game, I don't know if you remember, but a while back there was a game, Taiwanese horror game called Devotion.
I remember. Got taken down because of a Winnie the Pooh joke.
Yeah. Yeah, so the basic idea is you're playing a dude who, like, lost his daughter or family or something, and it's all scary and creepy and, like, sad. And it takes place in China, so there's like a weird time skipping mechanic where you're going through different like parts of your life in like this in your apartment or whatever. And one of the there's like a throwaway thing about making fun of whatever his fucking name is. I can't remember now. Um the like supreme leader dude or whatever. So it was taken down from Steam, but it is now being kept at Harvard. There's a apparently a very big prestigious like Asian library like that holds a bunch of different media and stuff regarding China specifically and other stuff like that. Apparently it's called Harvard Yangqing Library or whatever.
Okay.
And it's going to be so there is another game there called Detention, and like that's available for viewing on a single computer. Devotion is going to be the same thing in the library, but it's not available yet. It's just in the online catalog. To like that's coming. So that thing's being preserved by one of the most prestigious schools in the world.
So I wonder, did they just like reach out to the developer to get a copy?
Must be, right? I'm just trying to see if there's anything in here about how they got it here. One of the largest, East Asian libraries in the Western world. Collection dating back to 1979, where Chinese was first offered as part of Harvard's regular curriculum. Games like Super Mario Land and Nintendogs are preserved in the Japanese collection. Some of the games are preserved in the original formats, like cartridges and discs, and sometimes with accompanying material like booklets. It doesn't say how they got it, though. So yeah, they probably just reached out to
why this game, because like the only thing that I've heard that's like notable about this game was it getting taken down.
I mean, it was a pretty good horror game, but like
right.
Yeah,
but I don't know which. I'm not the biggest like Taiwanese game follower. There's just got to be bigger games coming out of Taiwan. Like, why aren't those being archived? I guess.
I don't know. They might be.
That's the question I would have. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know enough about the subject.
I almost kind of like want to reach out to somebody there and just like ask them, because again, this is just like, I think this is literally a Kotaku article or something. Like it's a Polygon article. So it's obviously just like, we found out the base information of this game that will get clicks and like, that's that. But I'd be interested to hear what like somebody that works in this library is like, how do you decide this shit? That'd be interesting to me.
Yep.
Okay. Spawn's coming to Mortal Kombat 11.
All right. Now we knew that.
Yeah. Next news. I guess there's nothing.
Was the reveal like what he looks like? Kind of. It's just like an image here of his like chest and up, because they already announced Spawn, hadn't they?
I don't think so. This is a confirmation anyway, at least.
Maybe Spawn leaked or something. Maybe that's what it is, because like we knew it was Spawn.
Yeah.
No, Spawn was in a trailer, I believe, at the very end of a trailer.
Oh, was he?
I think so. Anyway, this next news is more interesting. Anyway, Shovel Yacht Club Games had their wannabe Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, they had their little stream a couple days ago. Yesterday,
which looks even more like a Nintendo Direct than it did last time.
Yeah.
Down to like they almost have eShop music playing in the background. So that was pretty funny to see. But they basically talked about kind of the future of the company. I'm trying to think what order did they show stuff? Because this article talks about like the last thing.
Yeah.
What was the first few things they talked about? They talked about like the anniversary. They talked about some of the previous expansions. Blah blah blah. Anyway, whatever. I can't remember it. They talked about Shovel Knight Dig. They said that's coming next year. Oh, the first thing they showed was the Ninja one.
Yeah, that's in here.
Which
they're getting into publishing. They're publishing Cyber Shadow by.
That's this fall.
Mech something.
They announced that. Yeah, they said that's coming fall 2020. They said Shovel Knight Dig is coming in 2021.
Yeah.
They also announced Pocket Dungeon, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon, which looks awesome.
It looks very good. Yep.
I I don't even really know how to describe it. So it's a puzzle game / dungeon crawler roguelite, they said.
Yeah, all the buzzwords.
It I thought it kind of looked a little bit like, so I thought it had some Crypt of the Necrodancer in there of like when you move, all the enemies are going to move.
Mm-hmm.
Not that there's any kind of rhythm element to it, but just like one move for you, everyone else is going to take a move kind of thing.
So,
but
think of it
the
like,
enemies would also fall down like blocks.
think of it like almost Puyo Puyo, except when you connect them, they don't break right away, but you can like connect a bunch of the same type of enemy to kill
you're
them
not
with your
rotating
knight.
the blocks. That's the other thing, though, is like in
No,
Puyo Puyo, you're not rotating these falling blocks. It's like a Puyo Puyo game is happening while you're moving a little Shovel Knight guy around on the board.
on a grid thing. Yeah.
And then he can attack, and whatever like clump of them that are all touching together will get destroyed at the same time.
Yeah, you can like do like giant combo chains or whatever, different types of.
But they'll also attack back.
Yeah. There's
weird. Also like health potions will clump together, so you can get like a lot of health at once.
Yeah.
Again, I can't really think of a game it's similar to.
Yeah.
But like, I'm down for it though. Like that got me excited. That looks like a cool game.
It looks neat for sure.
They said they're working on 2 new games, one of which is a new IP, which basically means the other of which also has Shovel Knight in the name, right?
Yep, totally. Yep. That brand,
which, man, they're just never gonna be able to leave Shovel Knight, are they?
Probably not.
Probably not.
At least until like it fails miraculously somehow and people don't want to hear about it anymore, then they're free from the shackle.
I don't think, because if every second game is like Shovel Knight subtitle or whatever, like eventually like they'll just keep making the ones that are keep going. Like Pocket Dungeon 2 will come out, Shovel Knight Dig 2 will come out.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point Shovel Knight 2 will come out.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Why wouldn't it, right? At this point.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Cyber Shadow. That is super up my alley, and I kind of wish John was here to I think he'd be excited for it too. That's a John game.
Sure. I mean, it looked like, Ninja Gaiden looked like the Messenger.
Yep.
I did like if you put the Shovel Knight amiibos on there, it changes the ninja's like costume color, which I thought was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that does look cool.
In some sadder news, Kazuhisa Hashimoto died, the creator of the Konami Code, at 61.
Right. So, yep. Nothing really with that. He passed away.
So just, I don't know, rest in peace.
Put a Konami Code in the chat. I guess.
Weird. Yeah. Except us, because the Konami Code in the Twitch dashboard actually opens up options. So.
Oh, I did not know that. I wasn't going to put one in the chat. What options does it open up?
It just makes it so you can like unlock their stupid layout that they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
A couple of things of Platinum Games news. I'll let you read this first one because I did not know about the new studio.
Yeah, they are expanding. So they're located in Osaka, and they opened up a new studio in Tokyo, apparently to do some live service games, and that's kind of like gross. It's like, oh great, they're gonna just get into live service.
No, that's gross.
Whatever,
like,
but we'll see.
Those are games now. Games are live service games. You played.
Uh-oh, I think we lost Sean. Good timing. No, Rasterman, I meant for us on the dashboard. It wouldn't. The Konami Code doesn't do anything for you guys in the Twitch chat. Yeah, I don't know. It could be okay. We'll have to see what type of games that they make from it, I guess, but we'll see. We'll see what they do with it. All right, Sean's back.
There's your weekly internet drops for whatever reason.
Yeah. Maybe more importantly, though, we could talk about Project GG.
Right. This is a couple weeks ago. They put up on their website just a big number 4. And they announced today, or not today, a couple days ago, what that is. Project GG. It looks like an Ultraman kind of game. And they said they're taking inspiration from Beautiful Joe, which immediately piqued my interest.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. It definitely does seem like Ultraman. That's very true.
Which also makes me think like, yo, remaster the Beautiful Joe games or like port them to the Switch so I can play those.
Yeah, apparently it's the third game in Kamiya's superhero trilogy. So,
And this website that Google Translate translated for me translated it as Beautiful Joe, which I am
amazing.
okay with.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I guess, yeah, we'll see whatever kind of nonsense that is, but that seems very up their alley. I'm looking forward to that.
Yep. Okay. Games that are coming out. PS Plus is getting Shadow of the Colossus and Sonic Forces for March.
I saw a tweet and someone said one of the best games of all time and Shadow of the Colossus.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I'm actually excited to play that game because I have Plus and there is no way in hell I was going to pay money for that thing. So now I get to see it.
I think you're talking about Sonic Forces.
Yeah, because John said that I might like it, but like to not buy it. So I didn't buy it.
I'm with you on the not buying it part. I'm more of like my time is worth money and I could play a different game than trying out Sonic Forces.
I mean, if you really wanted to, you could play Batman the Enemy Within Complete Season or Shantae on your
I
Xbox.
definitely plan to play that Batman game. When they announced it, I was like, oh, is that the second one? Because I've been wanting to play that second one. I hear that one's real good, and it is the second one.
Yeah.
I will be playing through that.
So those two are the exclusive to Xbox One games coming for games with gold, and then the 360 and Xbox One ones are Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 and Sonic Generations, which is the good Sonic game. So even when it comes to the Sonic games, Xbox is like, we got the better one. So.
That's funny. It's like, and we got Sonic Forces. Oh man. But I think if you're gonna say the good Sonic game, isn't that Sonic Mania?
Sonic, that's the new one for sure. That has been free on games with gold, right? At some point, I'm sure it has.
No, I don't think it has because I didn't have access to it. And then last weekend, it was on a free play for the weekend, which was this, or 2 weekends ago, which was the same weekend Sonic the movie came out. So I actually came home from the theater and played some Sonic Mania,
Man,
and I was like,
Sonic.
"What is wrong with me right now?"
What a super fan! Wow.
Yeah, I was at the theater. I was looking at GIFs of Sonic on my phone. I just love Sonic.
Okay.
All right, last little bit of news. Harmonix announced a new game called Fuser. They came with an announcement trailer. Did you happen to watch this?
I did. It doesn't show any gameplay or anything except for people playing music.
It doesn't really show anything. It does show... So it's some kind of DJ game.
Yeah.
Who knows how you interact with it? A lot of people are thinking, oh, it's going to be like a digital version of Drop Mix. Which, sure, I'm hoping it's a little more than that because Drop Mix is it's a little shallow in content, but it kind of makes up for the fact that it's like, because it's a physical game that kind of carries a lot of the weight of it.
Yeah.
So using the cards is pretty novel in itself.
Yep.
So I'm hoping there's a little more to the video game part of it.
Yep.
I'm also over here being like, please make it a spiritual successor to DJ Hero, which will not be happening. I'm more than certain. I will say though, that announcement trailer, so it's live action for a bit and then they like go into the game world, and immediately it was like, oh, I don't really think the game world looks that great. Can I play the live action one? Because I was actually really digging all the like streets and everything becoming rainbows. That looks pretty cool. I want to play that game. Yeah.
I don't. We'll have to see more, but for now, it kind of isn't anything except a concept to me because I don't know what it is.
Hey, I'm glad Harmonix is still out there making enough money to make new games.
Yeah, they're still doing stuff, so good for them.
All right, let's do some questions.
All right.
If you want to send in a question, you can do so at topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. I'll read this first one from Boko. You've been sentenced to prison for food crimes.
Oh, no.
What food crime did you commit, and how long do you think you're sentenced for?
Food crime. Jesus Christ. Okay, first of all, is this just like something you shouldn't do with food, or are we talking about I committed a crime and used food as my like weapon or accomplice? Like I bludgeoned somebody to death with a cantaloupe or something.
I think dealer's choice.
Okay.
And in that vein, I'd like to recommend everyone go read the comic Chew,
Yeah,
um,
that's a
which
good
is
one.
about a detective who, when he tastes or eats anything, he gets like a psychic vision of the whole life of that thing, and it's very funny, and it goes to some weird places. So go look up the comic book Chew. It ended already. Um, Highly recommend that comic. Aren't they trying to make like a TV show with John Cho?
I do remember hearing something
While
about
ago.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, I'd probably get sentenced to prison for like eating the exact same food every single day for like a decade.
You do that?
Yeah, I ate like a peanut butter sandwich with breakfast every single day. I eat
Oh,
a chicken Caesar salad at lunch that I make every single day. I bring the
oh.
same snacks to work. Like as someone that like counts calories and hits certain macro things, it's really easy to like just stick with what you know
When you
works.
know, yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Also, it makes like grocery shopping and stuff way easier too. You know
Yep.
what you're
Yep.
getting every time.
Yep.
Um,
In the chat, we got someone saying eating steak with ketchup is mine.
dude, fuck
We're
that.
always ordering the same thing from a
Yeah,
restaurant.
I'm with him. Eating ketchup.
I,
Well, I don't do that though, is the thing. So I have to think of something I do that's a crime.
right. In the same vein of like, if I'm a food cop, if you put ketchup on your mac and cheese, you're going to food jail.
I used to do that
And
as a kid, but I haven't done that in 20
I feel like
years.
there's definitely like a group of people that it's like, yeah, I put that on, and then there's a group of people that are like, hell no, I don't put that on.
Okay, the one thing I do actually use ketchup with, because I kind of fucking hate ketchup, is if I can't get hot sauce, I'll use it on eggs at like a restaurant.
No, I don't like that either. I am with you though. Hot sauce on eggs. Eggs to me they might as well just be a delivery mechanism of which I get hot sauce into my mouth.
Sure, agreed.
But what do you do?
I'm trying to think. The problem here is I'm trying to think of even quirky stuff I do, because I obviously wouldn't see them as like a food crime because it's what I do.
Right. Well, it's probably the same mentality of like a guilty pleasure TV show. Like you shouldn't be watching this, but
Yeah,
you're watching it.
food crime. And also, I guess
I
it
eat tuna
depends.
with hot sauce. That's what someone says. I don't eat tuna, so
On
I
a,
don't know if that's bad, but it
tuna
sounds
with
bad.
tuna with hot sauce is fine. Kind of.
Okay.
Here's the trick. Hot sauce is kind of okay on almost anything, depending on how you use it.
Oh, sure.
So
I am like this close to being one of those people that would just carry a thing of hot sauce with them around just to put on stuff. I love hot
sure,
sauce, man.
hot sauce is very good. Wait, tangent. Did you ever try those hot ones hot sauces?
Yes.
Okay. Were they good?
Yes.
You haven't talked about them.
Oh, I didn't. Well,
No.
okay. Because I had briefly mentioned that I brought them to that white elephant party I went to. Um,
Did
and that was one of the like penalties. Did I tell you about that story? Yeah, I
no.
must have on the show. I think. Well, that's a story for another time.
Okay.
Anyways, I ordered the sampler pack where you get the first hot sauce, you get the middle one, the Los Calientes, which is usually number 5, and then you get the last dab.
Yeah.
Loved the first two, super tasty. I want to reorder. I loved the Los Calientes so much. I want to reorder them. The last dab is fucking hot, man.
Yeah. I bet.
To the point like some of my friends, we like tried it. We took a little bit on a like a tortilla chip and we tried it. And now I have like 95% of a bottle full of the last dab that I don't know what to do with because I'm not going to put that on food.
Right.
It's
Right.
it's not, it'll be just unpleasant. It'll just ruin whatever I'm eating and the next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I just have that on my shelf.
Great. You got to get the bomb.
No, I've had the bomb.
Oh, have you?
there was a guy at GameSpot, he doesn't work there anymore, who was also way into hot sauce.
Okay.
And he left a bunch of his hot sauces when he got his new job. And so they were on the kitchen. And one day I was just having a burrito, and this was way before I had watched Hot Ones. And I was like, I don't know, I'll try this one. Fucked me up.
Yeah, no, I've heard people say that, like, that's the worst hot sauce because it also doesn't have any flavor. It's just burning and bad. Like,
right. That's the one that messes them up on Hot Ones all the time.
Yeah,
for
like,
sure.
To the point where even a lot of them are just like, after that one, the other two are like literally nothing.
Right. Yep.
So.
Yep.
Weird. Okay.
All right. You want to read this next question?
Yeah. Rasterman says, imagine you entered a reality TV cooking show. What the fuck? Okay. TV cooking show. What would your cooking specialty be, and how far do you think you would get in the competition? A lot of food stuff right now.
Right.
God,
I don't think I'd get very far.
Okay.
I know that.
What's like some stuff you make?
I do make a lot of chicken, but it's not good.
Oh.
Like it's not special or fancy or anything. So I'm trying to think, like, if I was gonna make a nice meal, what would I go to? Like maybe like an omelet.
Have you ever like
omelets pretty well?
How about, have you ever made like a turkey or a full chicken, like a full
No, not myself. No.
Have you ever made? I'm trying to think of stuff I've made that, like a pot roast.
I haven't made like huge, like the biggest. A lot of the meat stuff is usually on like the smaller scale, and it's easy, like, oh, just put it in the oven, it's already seasoned, or just put it on the pan.
Okay. Gotcha.
Flip it around, kind of thing. I haven't made any like huge things. If you had to make a good meal, what's your best food? You got to impress the judges.
Impress the judges. Like a really nice omelet, probably.
I said omelet. You can't pick omelet.
Yeah.
We can't both be presenting an omelet.
Yeah, we can. It's a competition.
No, it's...
So we were probably given... I don't know what else it would be. Like...
Well, you said the turkey and a pot roast that you've done. That's already way better.
Yeah, but that's for, like, feeding, like, people at your house, not for, like, showing a chef or a competition.
There must have been a reality show where one of the episodes was make a turkey. That has to have been a thing. There has to have been a Thanksgiving special.
Maybe, like, pulled pork. Like a nice pulled pork sandwich or something.
Sure. Okay. Sure.
Apparently there's more to this question. How far do you think you would get? I wouldn't get far. Because pulled pork is stupid easy, and it's all about the sauce, and I don't know.
You'd beat me. If it was one-on-one, you would beat me.
I wouldn't beat anybody who knows how to make a good sauce from scratch, though. Bonus. If you could choose a video game character to be your assistant, who would you choose in order to make it further? Gordon Ramsay from Hell's Kitchen. It's a video game.
The only one I could think of was the chef dude from Kirby.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm trying to remember some name. I'm trying to think of other chefs, honestly.
Cooking Mama.
Cooking Mama was one I had thought of, but, like, the problem with Cooking Mama is that I play her doing stuff. So, like, I need somebody to tell me what to do, and I know Gordon Ramsay would do that because he yells at you in that video game. I
don't think you'd want... That's a bad partner to have.
No, because he would tell me what to do.
But in the meanest way. And he would also belittle you.
So?
I don't want that in a partner. We got to be a team.
No.
Kirby Chef would be a nice guy, and
he would be a nice guy.
Really huggable.
Yeah. And that would be helpful for when you lose to me and Ramsey.
Okay, well, this is good. Read the last part of the question.
Okay, now, the assistant from one of the other hosts has offered to make you dinner after the tournament is over. Do you accept? And if so, what do you ask him, her, it to cook you? What the fuck? Like, maybe like an ice cream cone? What the fuck do Kirby characters make? A cake?
Yeah, I don't remember what the chef... I think he just made anything. Yeah, I'd be happy for Gordon Ramsay to cook for me as long as he's not going to yell at me. Like, I don't want to be doing any cooking with him. Honestly, I'd probably pick something crazy fancy because he would make a really good version of it. Like, I don't even know, fucking like quail or something.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like a cake. I don't trust a Kirby chef to make anything good except for like cakes.
VGC Kenny writes, how do you know when something has stayed exactly their welcome? It's easy to spot things that have overstayed their welcome, The Simpsons, or when it's begging for more time, Firefly, but it's hard to define the intersection of those things. What things do you like where you don't want one more episode, movie, game, whatever, where one more is too much and one less is too little?
Okay. I mean, obviously super subjective. I'm okay with something ending when it ends off. Like, I'm good with miniseries. And so I think if you take a miniseries and then extend it to like another season or something, I think it's usually overstated its welcome unless they can make good on it somehow. Like, another Chernobyl would be fucking weird, is what I'm getting at. Like, that was just long enough where it did a dramatization of like what happened with Chernobyl. So I'm good
but
with that.
wouldn't like the season 2 just be on another catastrophe?
I guess so, but then it wouldn't be called Chernobyl, I don't think, right? Or maybe it would
But
be.
it could still thematically be like the same series, you know what I mean, right? Like
I
I think
guess
of
so.
like I think of like Life is Strange.
Okay.
And Life is Strange 2 doesn't have anything to do with the first one,
I
but it's
think
still
But I
kind of
think Before the
thematically.
Storm maybe like overstayed its welcome. They did too much with those characters, maybe.
They did a lot with the first season. Yeah, I'm more just talking about the main 2 seasons as an example of how I would see them doing a follow up to Chernobyl.
Uh-huh.
Well, can you think of something that you like is an example of like the perfect length you don't want anymore,
Um
and it
even
didn't
though
stay around for too long?
even though I thought it was okay, El Camino was okay, I thought Breaking Bad didn't need any more. I thought it
Okay,
ended
I've heard that
appropriately.
one for sure. Yeah. Um, I was gonna say that recent Watchmen series.
Yep. That
I am
was
totally fine with that just being done.
yep. Um Jesney in the chat is saying The Good Place. I agree with that. The Good Place was
Good
a
Place is
perfect
a good
amount.
one. Yep, sure.
Yeah, I think the idea is like, again, this is subjective because there are people that will say the Simpsons stop being good at enter whatever fucking season number here. But I think when something has overstayed its stay, when it's completely shown everything it needs to, like within like what it's trying to do, and then they just start like literally jumping the shark or whatever, like if it's Happy Days, or like trying to do stuff to keep people interested inorganically. But if there's stuff like Firefly where there's begging for more time, it's because they wrote more for that thing. Like, they got the movie, but like that, all the stuff that they hid in the movie obviously was like a full season worth of stuff that they had to cram in there somehow and kind of make it work in a 2-hour thing. Yeah, honestly, it's just that a thing needs enough time to do exactly like to do its build up, the climax, and then the resolution. Like, I think Lost was fine too. It had enough time to do
See, I think
everything it did.
Lost went a little bit too long.
I think it's because like, I really feel like they crammed an extra season in there where they didn't need to or something.
Right,
Like
like it
it,
got like, and a lot of people will say it starts getting a bit convoluted. Um,
I feel like they knew a lot of season 1 to 4 maybe, and like the end, and then they just kind of drew some stuff out.
there's only
Also,
5 seasons, right?
yeah, like I think they drew like maybe half of 4
So
or
I
5
think
out.
saying 1 to 4 is generous. I want to say like the first 2 seasons of Lost are really good, and then somewhere around 3, it starts getting like a little too zany.
Is 3 where
I'm
the
a huge
others
fan of
come
Lost.
into play? I don't, because two's the hatch.
Uh, that's when the others come into play is 2,
Right. Okay. Yeah. I don't
or
know. It's
even
weird.
technically in the first season, right?
Yeah, kind of.
They're showing
Sure.
up. But yeah. Anyway, um, I was gonna say Ghost Trick. I love that they didn't make like any more of that. It's just a perfect little thing by
Oh,
itself.
yeah. So like video game wise, um, yeah. Video game wise, for me, somehow is harder to like distinguish where the. It's again, yeah. It's very easy to know when it's like, would you want a Ghost Trick 2?
I I mean, like I probably wouldn't be like upset if they announced it, but at the moment I'm not like
You don't
wishing
need it.
they would make one.
Uh huh. Do you think it would overstay its welcome? I guess like if you start changing some stuff around or retroactively changing stuff, you've overstayed your welcome probably, right? Like that's part
I
of
mean,
it.
if they do it in like a cool way, like if they did like a real cool remix or something like that, like I don't know, for whatever reason, because if I think of Ghost Trick, I think like it's been so long since that first one
Yeah.
that if they were to announce a Ghost Trick 2, it's because they have a really good idea. That's why they're doing it now, kind of thing. Because I feel like a lot of the times we don't just get a game once. If it does well, like if it's a good game, it's
Yeah.
going to get a sequel.
Yeah.
So it has to be almost like kind of like a not exactly indie, but kind of an offshoot game for it to be really good and not get any kind of sequel.
Sure.
Because right, if the company's big enough or whatever, like or they don't have a bigger property, like that's why Ghost Trick isn't getting sequels because they also have Ace Attorney and whatnot, and that guy would rather sell a way more copies of Ace Attorney and let's make a new Ace Attorney, and that's why there's so many Ace Attorneys and whatnot.
Kim in the chat saying I'd be fine if we never got a Portal 3. The two we have are fine. So here's the weird thing is that Portal 2, I hate the cave stuff in Portal 2. Like when the Cave Johnson stuff, like I think he's funny, but I hate that whole section. Like I don't like it. So I feel like that game, like for me, overstayed its welcome because like I was having a good time and then I stopped having a good time with the puzzles down there. And then the ending's dope. That ending is so fucking good. But yeah.
Well, do you have an example of a game where you're like, I'm glad they're not making any more of these? It's good where it's at. If it's one or maybe just two.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying real hard to find one. Because all the games that I really like have easily overstayed their welcome. Resident Evil has overstayed its welcome. It's one of my favorite series.
Yeah,
but like it has.
it's also kind of hard when you are trying to think because there's plenty of games that they only had one of them.
Yeah.
But a lot of them you're like, man, I would have loved a second one. But then you can always be like, well, that means they didn't screw it up with a sequel, which is kind of an interesting thing.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Sure. I think that's a good one. Yeah,
was a perfect type of like, this is a story of somebody like doing some stupid shit for a girl and then it like real backfiring and then it's over.
Yeah, no, like because going back to it, it's like, no, I don't need to know like the prequel to that. It's totally good the way it is. Blah blah blah.
Yep.
Or whatever.
Yep. Okay, that's a good question. Suku writes, a movie about a video game has gone into production. They want you to be the lead character. Oh no. What kind of movie is it and what property is it based on? How faithful is it to the original game? Lead character of a video game movie.
I don't know. Something with like a lot of action because that'd be just fun to do some weird stunts and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Like Kane and Lynch.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about Kane and Lynch. I was thinking more just like put me in a Need for Speed movie. Just so I can do dumb. I can basically try and be like in a Fast and Furious movie and do dumb car stuff. Jump this car over a tank.
Put me in a Kane and Lynch where I'm balding and just like in a dirty wife beater with a shotgun getting shot at and just yelling fuck every 2 seconds.
Sure. Okay.
I'm in.
Kane and Lynch 2. That game's all right.
That game's totally fine.
A weird game.
Yeah.
That was a weird
it
game.
made me a little seasick in some parts because of all the effects on
that's a cool looking game for sure.
Yeah.
Sarcasm without giving the setup. What's your favorite punchline?
I barely know her.
George W. Bush.
Okay. Lineback says, what's a TV series you wish had gotten one more season? Firefly. Holy fuck do I wish Firefly got a second season. Jesus.
Tuca and Birdie.
Tuca and Birdie. Oh, that wound is too recent.
I'm man, that's so sad.
That's a bad one. Yeah, that sucks. Um, The
I
Simpsons.
believe it's me, Yogurt Sapien. I'm almost done getting stuff to build my first gaming computer. My friend is helping with the actual build, but any tips or software recommendations?
um, for the purposes of saving time in the podcast, have fun. That's my recommendation. The actual recommendation is maybe look into like, I don't know how tech savvy you are. Maybe doing some like dual boot action, get a Linux OS going on there and like make it so you can boot into Windows separately if you want to. So if something goes wrong, you can just kind of fucking wipe the Windows thing clean and have a brand new computer every time there's weird shit going on. Yeah, I don't know. It depends how tech savvy you are.
That's over my head. I was gonna say like download Steam, download
Your
VLC
gaming stuff.
media player,
VLC.
um,
Ooh, good one.
GeForce Now,
Yeah, GeForce
The
Now.
Epic Game Store launcher. Those are the things I would download pretty quickly. It's good if I have Audacity on my computer.
Yeah, like I guess like what do you do, right? If you use it for work in school, make sure you get your Microsoft Word and Excel.
Well, I think you can just use Google Docs at this point. Like I haven't used I haven't used Word in forever. I went through college with just Google Docs. Works fine for me.
Google Docs is very good, and it's even better now too. They keep
Yep.
updating it. Get a better thing than Microsoft Windows Explorer. Get Chrome or Firefox or something
Yeah.
that's better.
Yeah. Well, it's Edge now, right?
You're right, it is. Okay. Boko says, are there any video game events you wish that you had been able to experience / witness firsthand? Personally, I really wish I had been able to see the fall of Dalamud at the end of Final Fantasy XIV 1.0. Well, by all rights, the game at that time was a garbage fire. The actual event itself was very interesting from all the info and videos I can find on it.
This is interesting with like live games and having events and stuff. Like you can miss out on content now.
Yeah.
Um, trying to
Um,
think like
so in World of Warcraft, there was a big thing, the opening of the gates of Ahn'Qiraj, and I wasn't a high enough level to like participate in the absolute shitty garbage fire that was, and like racing the world first to like be able to open the gates to the giant new raid and stuff. That would have been fucking cool.
most of the events I'm thinking of are more just kind of like the launch of the game and being able to like be a part of, the zeitgeist online with it.
Okay.
Um,
Yep.
and I think of things like everyone was into Overwatch when that came out originally, and that
Yep.
was a lot of fun. Every person you would talk to, oh, who's your main? Who are you playing that? What are you playing now? Who are you playing? Blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, because you kind
Um,
of came to it a little late, right?
no, I was there at launch.
Oh, were you? Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, this isn't exactly my answer. I'm just trying to think like that was something I liked.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Like zeitgeisty stuff. What's
yeah,
something that you missed by a lot?
I'm trying because that's hard. I don't come to a lot of games after the fact, and when they're live games, I typically don't come to them after the fact because I've missed a lot. I guess I came to Siege late, but there wasn't anything that I was like really wish I had done this event beforehand.
Sure.
Um, like live games. Came to Destiny late, but I don't think they were doing like seasonal events for Destiny 1.
I actually do wish I was there in Destiny 1 to kind of like get annoyed with that game and then go into the Taken King expansion and just be like, oh, this is so much better. I wish I was part of that conversation
So
back
I
then.
came to it when Taken King had come out. That's when I came to Destiny 1.
Yeah.
So I got good Destiny. Division 1 I came too late, but they didn't do any kind of end game content, so that I didn't miss
Yeah,
anything
not
there
really.
either. I more have answers like I'm glad I was there for this. I'm glad I was there for that. I would have sucked to have missed these things. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's weird because like I feel like I was part of a lot of like zeitgeist and stuff just due to, I mean, you and I like either on this podcast or in our separate things have been talking about video games for like over a decade. easily, and we've been playing kind of everything that we could since we've been like young. So
Right.
yeah.
All right, another question from Rasterman. With the recent cases of review bombing going on in Metacritic, particularly the ones caused by one person, for example, Kunai and AI Sonomian files,
Yeah.
since you can create a lot of accounts with the same IP, does this change in any way how you view the critics from this site?
I've never respected critic aggregators or review aggregator sites like those for that reason specifically. Just like the number, I always like to scroll down and see like what people actually write usually.
I was
But
gonna
like,
say like stuff like Metacritic,
mhm.
don't they have like the game critic websites separate from the user reviews, and you can only the review bomb's only going to show up in the user reviews, but those are two separate numbers.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to the numbers generally at all, and like unless they're way off, and then I'll be like, well, why is this like so high or so low or whatever. I usually just like to see what people say about stuff. Honestly, like over the last few years, I don't listen to anybody's opinion on anything except for like you and John, because and like Nathan, like people I know, and like where my kind of like uh preferences and opinions lie, like in relation to you guys and whatnot. I don't read reviews or like any of that shit at all anymore. They're completely useless to me.
So I definitely still check them out. When it comes to like Metacritic and the aggregating site,
Yeah,
because they're separate, I'll look at
the
the
critic review.
critic one, the average one, just to kind of get a sense of like how the industry is looking at this. I do the same with movies and like, hey, what's the Rotten Tomato score, just to kind of get a sense of what a lot of people are saying at once. I
Mm.
typically don't look at the user review score
Right.
because I feel like most of the time it's either going to be like the people that would write that review or that would take the time to submit a number, they either really like the game or they really don't like the game.
Right.
If you're in the middle, you're probably not going to spend the time to review it for the most part. I know there are definitely people that's just their thing. They want to do that, but I think they're in the minority, so they'll just kind of get
Totally.
overshadowed.
And also
So that
it's
number
hard.
doesn't
Like you know as well as anybody, writing about something that you're just kind of mediocre on is the hardest fucking review.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So what that means is I'm basically either going to get a glowing review from people that like it, which doesn't tell me a lot, or I'm going to get a scathing review from people that don't like it, which is also not going to tell me anything. It's kind of
Sure.
like you can't go to a games subreddit and be like, "Hey, should I buy this game?" They're
Yeah.
going to say yes. They're in the subreddit. Like, what are you talking about? You have to go somewhere more general.
Unless that game's
Um,
Anthem. In which case they will probably tell you no.
sure, exactly. Uh, but for the most part, like even the people that would say no, they've probably left that subreddit, and you're getting like the diehards in there.
Yeah, that's
But either
true.
way, and that's why I kind of like the review score one more, is because it's typically people that can kind of distance themselves from it. Um, so I still find that useful for whatever that's worth. Um,
Yeah. That bugs me, man. That Kunai one was one dude, and like his whole thing was, yeah, I was stoned and angry. Like, great.
cool. Yep.
Yeah, good job, dude. Ugh. Final question. Junkie GS says, if you could have one video game character as a pet, which one would it be? I feel like I've answered this a few times.
I
Charizard.
feel like we have answered this. That'd be hard though. It's big,
Yeah.
but then you
But
could like fly around.
then
That'd be pretty
like
cool.
I'm obviously going to have the 8 badges so I can control him properly. It'll be easy.
Sure. Still, it's a lot of room you need in your place, and you got to worry about that tail.
He can fly around forever. Perch on my porch.
Pokemon's definitely the easy one. I'm trying to think of like a non-Pokemon, um, just to make it a little more interesting. And it just Pokemon keep coming to mind. I'm not gonna say Kirby because he's sentient, and that would be weird. But then again, so are Pokemon, right? So are those games? Is it dog fighting? Is that what this game is?
I feel like this conversation has come up many times too. It is
Yeah.
absolutely dogfighting.
I don't know. Eevee's pretty cute. I'll take one Eevee, please.
Okay.
All right. What's your sorry, that's it for questions. If you want to send in questions for next week, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's PO box. What is your game of the week?
Division 2.
And mine is Children of Morta. All right, cool. This week was supposed to be our Temtem episode of TDP Plus. With John not being here, we have pushed that to next week so he can be a part of that. So stay tuned for that. And John will be back next week for the regular show. So yeah, look forward to that. Otherwise, we will talk to you later. See ya.
Bye.